Hello everyone, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to um, create a database for a business. So in this case that we are working on, the business is a restaurant. And the most important thing for designing database for a business, as I said, for this restaurant, is the first step is to create tables. So tables are locations or are a part of our database that are going to take care of our main data. Okay. So most of the time we need to think about the process in the business. We need to think about how different parts of the business is taking care of the information. For example, if we have employee working for us, what kind of information do we gather from the employee? What kind of information do we need to do our job? For example, if you don't have the employees bank account, can you do that? Can you do your work? Can you make a payment to them? If you're just giving them a check, that would be fine, but sometimes you might want to um, send the money into their bank account. So that would be something that you would like to have from your employees. Or for example, in this case that we have customers, what are the things that we need to get from our customers? Do we need their first name, last name, contact information? I think these are the basic ones that everybody will look at. But for a restaurant case, maybe you want to know something about their food restrictions, or you may want to know something about the allergies that they might have. So um, normally, what we do is that we will create tables to get that information. In database design projects, you will start with thinking about what tables you want. But in this case that we have here, the table is ready for us. So we know what we are going to do. We know what kind of tables do we want, but we don't know what do we need to include in our tables. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create these 6 tables as required here, and then I will create queries, and then I will create a form and 3 forms and report. So let's just start with creating our table. I will go into Microsoft Access, click on a blank database, and I'm going to call that, I will go to the restaurant project. I will copy this name and I will give it this name to here. So I will call it restaurant project. It's getting saved in my document folder, which is okay. So I'll click on OK. It says I have already created something like that before. Do I want to override? I would say, yeah, that's fine. So right now I have a table which is having a default name. So the default name for a table is table 1. Now I need to give it a proper name. So the first table that I want to create is the menu table. So right click on it, click on save. But because this is the first time I'm giving the name, it is it's giving me the opportunity to say save as, and I will say menu. So I have a menu here. Now I will right click on this table and I will go into the design view. So in the design view we have first of all we have the first field, which is called which is ID, and this is our primary key. You can see that the primary key indicator is here, so there is like a small key over there. And the other things I want to add to my menu are the items that I want to list over there, right? So in the menu, I would say menu items. Okay. So again, as I said, we're going to go with the minimum items that we could have in our tables, and as we work and as we see the project and database moving forward, then we could say, oh, this is what else, and another thing that we want to add, or this is something that we need to add to this table or that table. So I will just go with the minimum thing that we want to have in our tables, and then if we need to add some more items to that, I will add it later. So menu item, short text. The other thing I would say is that I want to have a price. Okay, so I'll go back to right click on this, save. right click, going back to datasheet view. Now we have menu item. So I will start with steak. What's the price of that steak? That's like $15. Again, this price is right now showing as number. I can right click here, going back to design view. So it's a short text. I can change it to currency, so it is showing me the dollar sign as well. Do you want to save your work? Yes, yes. Okay, so it's $15. Then I will have a pasta. I could have $10. Then I would have the third item. I would have fish or fried fish or whatever you want to have it. That's like $17. And then I would have some, beverages. I would say wine is $20. Then I would have Pepsi, which is $5, and I would have spring water, which is $4. Okay, so now what you would see here is that I have a table that's called menu. This table has 3 fields. The auto field that is called ID here. This is the primary. The primary key of this table is here. Also, I have the menu items. This is the second field that I have. It's showing different types of food that I have, and in the third one I have the price for them. So I'm good with that. I will save and close my work. Just have it in your mind that every single time you're working with a table or query, a form, when you finish working with that, close that, because this is kind of like automatically refreshing that for you. Now, I will go to my second part. Now, here, the second table that I have to create is employee. So I click on Create tab on the top. Then I click on the table. Then again, I have a table 1, the default name. I'll right click and click on Save, and then I will type, or I just copied and pasted or typed employee here. So the second table is employee. So for employee, what do we need to gather, or what kind of information do we need to have from our employee? I right click and go to the design view. So the first field is it's called ID, or I could call it employee ID. Okay. It could be auto number. Sometimes you have, for example, SIN number or something like that you want to enter them as a primary key, or as a key that is, or as a number or key which is differentiating all the people working for you. But again, it's not a very great idea, because if you're using SIN number, then you are revealing some information which is like very secure. If I see your name and I see your employee ID and I say, oh, this person's SIN number is this, right? So this is immediately revealing some important information, which is not good from the security standpoint. So I will not go and do that. I'll just leave it as employee ID, but it's an auto number, so it will start with 1, 2, 3, and then so far and so forth. So for employees, I will add. I want to have their first name. The name is short text. That's fine. I will also have the last name. I can also have their phone number. And I will go there and I will have a number. For the employee, I will also want to have maybe their address. Yeah. Something else I can say for employees, I can get their date of birth, which is date. Again, we might want to get it for several different reasons. You might also want to have their SIN number if you are in, if all your employees are in Canada. So SIN number is a number, so we'll just click on that and say number. The other thing is for your employees, again, you might want to know how much their salary is, for example, or I would say hourly. So you would have hourly number of dollars that every person is getting, currency. And then I would say full-time. So for, we can say full-time, part-time, and you could have yes, no. Okay, so you could have full-time, and then if a person is not full-time, so that person is part-time. This is what we assume, which is happening in this case. So we have first name, last name, phone number, address, date of birth, SIN number, salary, full-time or part-time. And this is like a yes no thing for us. Let me just save and take a look at it and see if it looks good. So I go to the datasheet view and I will start adding some numbers, some names. I said before that there is something we could do here. There is like a random name generator, and I will use it for my for my different cases that I have. You see, quick name. Okay, I have some names here. I'm going to use them in my for my project. Andrew is the first one, so I'm just going to copy that. Go into my access. So Andrew, what's the last name? Charles. Going back to access Charles. Phone number, I would just say 1110. Address is ABC. Date of birth. So I will just put date of birth as, again, you might want to like add it here and then go and adjust it and say like, okay, so this one is, you will start with the year and the month and the date. So you can also go and make changes to that. For example, it's 2021. I would say 2000, right? So the person is 21 years old. SIN number, I could add their SIN number here, but I can then make sure that this part is confidential and is not shared with anyone. Again, the same thing for salary, how much the person is making in an hour, and if the person is full-time and not. In this case, this person I would say is not a full-time, so I'm not putting the check mark over there. For the second row, I will go and then I use the second name that I have. So I'll add the first name. I will add the last name. Again, this is a random name generator. So I'll add a phone number, BCD, and the date of birth. I would say, for example, 1980. Okay, so just like some I'm adding some random information over there. For sure, if you're doing, if you know, and this person, I would say like this person is full-time. I'm adding the information here, and again, in the projects you might get some mandate that you need to have at least 4 to 5 to 6 to 10 records. So I'm just adding the records here so that we have enough information to work with. So I'm just copying our first name and last names. I'm just adding some characters for the address. There is another person who was born in November, but the year was 1970. And the person is, the same number is 333. The person is making, I would say $24 per hour. He's not full-time. Okay, so I think now you have a good sense of what we're doing right now. So this is the last record I want to add to my to this table. So if we need more, I could always come back and add more things over there for sure. So this person was, for example, was June, and then 1999. And the SIN number is 444, and this person is making $22 per hour, and it's full-time. So we have 2 full-time, 2 part-time employees. We have their first name, last name, phone number, everything for our employees, so everything is here. That's good. I'll right-click, save it, and again, as I said, close it. So um, two of our tables are created. So I'm just moving on to the customers. So let's go to the customers. Create table. The third one is customers. So I'll just copy and paste it here. Right click, save, and put it give it a proper name. So I'm just going to just clean it up. Capital C. And now, what do we have, or what kind of information do we want to gather about our customers? This is what I will add to my datasheet view, to design view. So I would say customer ID. Again, I will just want it to be an automated number. That's fine. What else do I need to gather from my customer? I want to have their first name, their last name, and I would also have check for their phone numbers. I don't necessarily need to have their full address if I don't want it. Many people are not comfortable with that, but sometimes you could ask for their postal code. They're not working for you, right? So they don't want to provide a lot of information. And then you could make some of them mandatory. You could make some of them to be, optional. So postal code could be one of them. And then allergies. If they have any allergies, you could mention that. Or you could say allergies, yes, no, and then I would say type of allergy. So what type of allergy? Then here we could just go with the long text, and then lots of information could be added. Sometimes we want to celebrate their birthday, so date of birth would be necessary for that. I will add date of birth here. So this would be date and time. And I think we're good with these fields. So I'll right click here, save my work, going back to the datasheet view, and I'll start adding the customer information. So let me just use my list of names that I generated. I will just go ahead and use this. So first name, last name, phone number, postal code, I just added some postal code, allergies. This person, okay, so I would say allergies, and then I would say nuts. Date of birth, November 9th, 2001. Okay, so I'll go to the next one. Again, these are called records, so I'm just adding records to my database. And postal code. No allergies, nothing, just date of birth would be added. This person was born in October and in 1982. Add one more record here. And I add the postal code. Allergies, I would say milk. Well, a person was born in June would be fine, and in 1956. Okay, so these are our customers, and I added some records. So I have like 3 customers already right now in my restaurant. And again, we will build up our database as we move on, as we are as we have more people. So let's go on. I will go back to my file here. The next one is suppliers. So close this table, as I said, create a new one. So this table, suppliers, is not connected to customers, is not connected to employees, is not connected to menu. As you could see, we are covering different parts of the business, right? So one part, the menu, is very involved with the operations. Employee are people who are working for us all in different parts of our company. Customers are people who are, we serve them day to day. Now we're going to have suppliers, and again, for suppliers, let's go and see what do we need to add to their data in the design view. Let's see what kind of fields we want to add. So I would say, first of all, I would call this supplier ID. Okay, and supplier. Supplier ID, and then we have their company name, because most of the time when we are dealing with the supplier, we are not dealing with individuals, right? We are dealing with companies, and then we have their company number. So I would say phone number. So company phone number is a number, so I'll click on the number here. The other thing I would say, who is a representative, right? The person who we are dealing with is a representative who is working with us. So it's a short text. Contact email. And I would say contact email 1. Maybe we want to have like 2 of them, so I would say contact email 1, and I would say contact email 2, because we might want to, save 2 different emails here. We just want to make sure that we have enough space and enough room for gathering that information if needed. Then we would have their company's address. What else do we need? Do we need like, okay, type of product? What do we normally buy from them, right? Are we buying food from them, or are they supplying like groceries? Do we buy furniture from them? So we could have that here. So this is a simple table. Again, for every single part, as we discussed before, you could go there down the page and you see required. Some of them, for example, email, the second email is not required, but email 1, you might want to make it required, right? Again, that depends on the business. Some small businesses, these days everybody has an email, but normally if you don't, make sure the items that you have as required are really required by your company, right? For example, name of a company. We cannot have a supplier without a name. We cannot have a supplier without a representative, right? So you could make them, for example, company name. I will go down there, required. It says no. I'll click on that, and I change it to yes. So and I will right click here, save my work, going back to datasheet view. Now let me add the records to my work. So I just go there when I have this double-sided arrow. I double click there to make sure I have enough space and see what the heading for that specific field is. So company name, I would say ABC Inc. A company's phone number is this. Representative, okay, I will take a name from my generated list name. This is a rep's name. Contact email. info@abcinc.ca. Now the second one, address is ABCD, so we had one address. Type of product, I would say office material. So I will buy office, or I would say office items. So if you want to buy like paper, printer, those kind of things, you could buy it from ABC Inc. Then I would have my, I could go and have another company added here. So I would say, butcher, Butchers of Canada. Yeah, it's another name of a company. And they have a phone number. And there is a person working for them. So I'll add the name of the person here. Okay. And the email is BOC at boc.com. Okay. There is no second email, and their address is this. And type of item they offer is meat. Okay, so these are two records I will add to my suppliers list. I will save my work, and as I said before, I will close my work. This is another table I created for this project. I will go back to this list. So we have promotions. Okay, so let's go and see. Now we have a restaurant. Now our mind right now needs to shift to promotions, or think about it as a person who is going to do the marketing, right? So when you have promotion, what kind of promotions you normally have in an organization? So I will click on this in an organization like a restaurant. If it is a retail store, you could say buy one get one, or you could say buy one get the second one 50% off, something like that. So we can have similar things here for restaurants as well. So whatever dish you order, if you order it for the second time, the second one you will get like 20% off, something like that. Or we could have some more items. So let's just go and give it a proper name. So that this one is called promotions. So we'll copy the name, go there, right click on the tables, click on save. And because this is the first time I'm creating this, I have to put the name or label for it. So I'll just call it promotions. And I will click on OK. And now let's right click on it, going back to the design view. Again, the same thing, just need to make sure that we know what we're doing, and we know the whole process. So here I would say promotion. So what type of promotion? So it's like promotion, it's kind of like a name that I'm giving it here. So promotion, oops. And this one. Okay. And promotion, and then here there was like one space over there. Okay, I think it's good now. Oops. Let me just type it again, because it seems that there is this one is a little bit problematic. Promotion. Okay. So what type of promotion do we have? I can have it here, and then the amount, or I would say discount, right? And then I would have more info. More info. I'll just give it more space to that. So let's go back to. I will save my work, and I will go back to my datasheet view to add the records to this database. So promotion, I would say happy hour. Okay, discount 20%. More information, I would say weekdays 3 p.m. or say 3 to 5 p.m. or 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., whatever you want to call it. So this is my first promotion. I would have another promotion, I would say Thursday, kids meals free. And here is that I would say 100%. And here I would say kids meal free when there is a meal purchased by an adult. Okay, so there should be an adult, and then we have like kids meal. We can have like something very clear, like like when you go to McDonald's, they have something that's called kids meal. So you could say, okay, so this is kids meal, and I'm going to give it for free, or when you purchase something like that. Okay, so this is the first one. Another thing I would add here, so we have everything that looks fine. Okay, so these are two different promotions that I have. So I will close this. Do you want to close it? Yes. Another table I would create is the orders. So let me create the orders table. Click create. Go in there. I right click and save, and I would say orders. Okay, orders is really I would say this one is a little bit tricky because we want to know we want to connect this to the other parts, right? For example, someone who is ordering could be one of our customers, and then the person who is getting that order could be one of our employees, right? So this is what we need to do. So let's go and take care of that. So I will go into design view. So I will give it a good name here. So I would say order ID, and then here we have order ID, and then you want to have items to order, right? Item to order. Okay, where is that item to order coming from? You don't get orders from anywhere. You just get the orders from the menu, right? So we need to connect the orders to the menu. So I will go and have a lookup wizard. I want to look up field to get the value from another table. That's correct. I want to find these items from my menu table. Okay. Next, what are the items that I want to add over there? I want to see these items there. And finish. Now, save before relay. I will create, and then I will save on it. And I will, if I go back to datasheet view, you could see item orders. Now I can add from the list of items here. That's beautiful. This is what I wanted. I will go back to my design view. So this is I order item. So whatever I order is coming from our menu. Okay. Another thing we have is we will have the customer. So who's the customer that is ordering here? So the customer, again, we are getting customers' information, and we could just go and do this. Now, it is giving me something in my head. Let me just do it, and then I will tell you what that is. Now, we are going to have a customer. Next. From the customer, I don't need to have everything on the customer, right? I don't need to know their first name, last name, phone number. I just need to have their customer ID here, and that would be enough. just like when you go to for example, Tim Hortons, or you go to somewhere, they scan your card, and then that is your information that is gathered there. So beautiful. I can just go back to my datasheet view, and you can see, like, from the customer, I can choose which customer I have. If I go to customers, I have these customers listed here, and I can add someone to this list, and I would say guest. Okay. I might want to have, I might sometimes get customers and say, we don't want to have our names added to your list. We just want, to go anonymous, right? So in that case, I will just call it a guest. And then when we go into our order menu, we could always use that one. I can just drop down. It says like 1, 2, 3. I could refresh that, refresh all. And then the fourth one is the guest. So this is customer ID. So it says, instead of like having everything or showing to me, I just need to have their ID. Okay, great. Now, something else I need to add to my orders table. As I said, this orders table is amazing. Like we're doing everything. This is where we're making all the connections that we want. So we will go to design view. I have the item ordered. I have the customer who is sitting at the table. Now, who is getting that order? One of my employee, right? Employee serving the table. Okay, who is getting the order or serving the table or whatever, right? This is a restaurant, so we could just go there and say lookup wizard, and then from that, I want to have from my employees table, and I want to see this employee ID, and then I want to see their first name also associated with that, so I'm not making any mistakes when I'm choosing that. So I'll click on finish, and it's, behind the scene we are creating so many relationships between these tables. So I'm not. This is what you will see over there. So let me go back to the datasheet view and employees. Now I could see who is the person who is serving us. Is it? I would say Andrew. Okay, or I would say, I could choose anybody that I want from my list. So this is orders. And what else do I want to record here? Something that is unique for the order is a date of order, right? So I need to go back to the datasheet view. Again, I'm thinking about the whole process. Where am I getting that information? By thinking about the process. Sometimes you can think about it because you have a knowledge about that company, that process, process in that company or organization. Sometimes you have experience. All of us have gone to restaurants. All of us have gone to fast food restaurants or regular traditional restaurants, and we have some idea about it. But if it's a business that you don't know how it is working, you need to talk to the business owner or somebody who is called subject matter expert, or SMEs. So these people could give us some information. Okay, employee serving the table, and I would say order date. Okay, so there is a date that the order is happening, and I would just use a date. And again, every single order, we have different amounts for it, right? So I would say total amount of the order. Now I will click on that, and I would say this is a currency and how it was paid. Okay, so there's some limited number of items that we could choose from. So for this one, I will go to lookup wizard, and I will choose this one because I can add the items here as a list. So I will go next. I would say cash, credit card, debit card, and what else can we pay? So we could pay in cash, credit card, debit card. That's it, right? So that's like a limited number. If you could think about something else later, you could always come back. So I will save it. I will go to the datasheet view, and this is amazing, right? So how was it paid? I could just have a drop down menu. So there was a, now I can start adding my first order to the table. So order item, somebody just came to the restaurant and ordered steak. Who's that person? It's like the person didn't want the record to be saved, so it's a guest, customer number 4. And who served the person? Andrew. Order date, it's today. I will just put today's date. Total amount of that, so we could see that steak is $15. So I'll just go and say only ordered one item, so the order is $15. And how it was paid, the person just paid it with a credit card. Okay, so it's beautiful. I can add more records. So somebody else came in and had a pasta. Which customer? It was one of our existing customers. So you can see that you cannot add the customers here. So if you have a customer coming in, you need to add the information to the customers, or this is how you could just do it. So I will have, say, customer number 1, who served this person. This employee served the person, and when did that happen? Again, today. And how much was the cost, or how much did the person pay? The person just had $10 there, and then also gave us a tip, $2, and was paid that by cash. Okay, so we added also that information to our orders table. So all of the tables are created. Now what we need to do next is that we have to now go and create our, so the tables are created, now we need to create our query. So let me close this. I'll click on create query wizard. Okay, so what do I want to see in my query? Customer have their birthday this month. Okay, so this one is, you know, the birthdays are a little bit tricky. So I would say, I'll click on this, and I would look at the customers, right? So I'm talking about customers. So customers, I will add everything from the customers field from the customers table to this query, and I'll finish it now. I need to right click on this query, and I will go into the design view, and now I want to add my criteria. So what is the criteria? That have their birthday this month. Okay, their birthday this month. So date of birth in the criteria section. You see, this is the criteria. Yeah, here's this one, date of birth criteria, and I would say now in the criteria I will type this. I would type month, and then from month you will choose DOB, date of birth, and then from there I would say month and date. Okay, so what it's doing for us, again, I will just type it here, down here, so you can see it's month. I'll click on tab, and it's giving me the date. So here I would say DOB, and then you could see this is a part of my table that it's showing to me, right? So I click on tab, and you could see right now DOB is like in capital letters, and it's in brackets, right? And then I will close this parenthesis, and I will say equal to month, and again I click on tab, and it's looking for the information. I would say date, so it means the check today's date. It's kind of like checking today's date, and I need to just have date, this one, open and close, and then now this should work, right? So this is how we will add this criteria, and this criteria, it means that it will look at the date of birth, and it will grab the month out. This is what this side of the equation means, and then the other side of the equation, let me just make it a little bit larger. Okay, so we said from month from date of birth field, so it will go into the date of birth field and just grab out the month. So today's month, the month in this exercise, right now we are in November, so it will be November, right? So it will bring whatever month is there, and month date, it means the month that we are right now in it. So it will bring the month and then compare it with this month. So if it is November, we will see the result. So let me just go into design and run. Perfect. So this customer, you see customers, I can look at the table. This the customer's date of birth was 9 of November 2001, and then we have that here because this customer was born in November, so we could see that here. Okay. So again, how did I find that information? You could always Google that information. If you're doing a project and you're not sure how to run different queries especially for dates, you can always Google them and then check the results from the support, from Microsoft support. They're amazing. Like, you could always use them and they're always accurate. So the query for customers that have their birthday this month is here. Now we want to have employee's birthday today. So okay, so let's see if there is any employee because we want to kind of like celebrate it for them, right? So let me close this one. As I said, every single time, whatever query or whatever table you're creating or using, make sure you close it at the end, because it is very important. It is going to, if you don't do it, it might create issues. So anyway, so I will do it now. I will close everything, and now I need to go and create this. Let me just go back to the question. Employee birthday today. Okay, so employee's birthday. Going back to access, create query wizard, simple query wizard from employees. Let me just bring all the employees information. I will bring it all here, but I don't need their salary. I don't need their SIN number, right? I don't need to know if they're full-time or part-time. You see, we don't need all that information for some purposes. The purpose of this query is for the managers, for example, to take a look at that and say, well, I can see that today is this person's birthday, so send them something on their phone. We don't even need their address, right? So send them something on their phone and would say, happy birthday, and then when the person is coming to the office or we see the person, we will buy him a cupcake or sing a birthday song for the person, something like that. So we don't need all the information. I just remove the unnecessary items from there and I click on finish. So right now everybody's name is there. Today is 19th of November. So I don't have anybody who in my list who is born in this day. Let me just go into my employees and then change one person's, for example, this is 11 and I would change it to 19. So it says this person has a birthday today. Okay. Let me just close this again. Now I will go to the home, click on the home tab, refresh this information. I want to make sure that I have that information. Okay, 19th of November 1970. So today is this person's birthday, right? So we need to make sure that we could run a query that is bringing this person's names up. Okay, so I will go to the design view. Under the date of birth, I will just add day. And I need to open and close the parentheses and run. So, sorry. I need to do something because that's only checking the specific date. This person was not born today, right? That's a wrong one. So let's just go to the design view, and I want to say, I want to go with the same one. So I would say, let's do it this way. So to get that information, I will type it here in the notepad to the formula that we need to add. so that you will see that better, because in that tiny box over there it's not very clear. So what I'm saying for employees, if you want to see the employees that are having their um, birthday on this specific day that we are in, we will create the same formula as before. So month, looking at the DOB field, so this is like the employee, and then you could see that we have one field that's called DOB, or date of birth, and then equal sign to month date. So this part will catch the month that belongs to this month. So for example, if the person, regardless of year of birth, if the person's date of birth, or the month that the month of birth is in November, that we are right now in it now that I am recording this video, if this is happening in November, this will bring up the results. This will bring the results to me from date of birth field or column that has the same month. So it doesn't care about the day, it doesn't care about the year, but it looks at the month only. Now the same thing could happen here, and I would say and, because right now without this and, I will see all the results for different days of the November. But I want that to specifically be for today's information. So now I would say and, now you looked at the month before, now look at the day right now for me. So if the day is in this field, or in this column DOB, is the same as today's date, then show me the result. So here is the formula. I will just put it down and I will run this. Let me go back to this. Oh, I just removed it. And I will run this. And you see, today is 19th of November. So it is showing me 19th of November. The year is 1970, because I didn't ask Excel access to check for any years. So I just checked the month. If the month in this field is the same as today's month, and if the year in that field is the same as today's day. So if those kind of things, both of them, are happening at the same time, show me the results. And you see the results are showing to me, and this is what I wanted to have. So the best thing about these criteria that I created is that they are dynamic, right? So every single month you could go and take a look at the employee. Every single day you could take a look at the employee's query. You could take a look at the customer's query, and then you could see whose birthday is that, so you will go and celebrate that, or you will, for the customers, you might want to send them a promotion, something like that, and you could easily do that. So we created these two queries. The last query that we have to create is for the order of the day. Okay, so these were relevant to our employees and customers. And I'm going to create one more query here. So I'll create that the query wizard. Next. Okay. And then there we go. So I want to know the order of the day. So orders. What do I want to see for that order? I want to see everything, right? So I just want to see everything in the order, but something is very important to us, and that is to see today's date. So I will go to the datasheet view. So I right click and click on the design view, and I go there and I type date here. So date, and then open and close the parentheses in the orders dates, right? So I'll run that. All the orders that happened today are showing to me. So there are two orders. I see both of them. I can check and change. I will save the changes here. Let me just go to the orders. If one of them, instead of 19, happened on the 18th, let me just go and close this. and then I will say order query. So you can see that the other one is not showing to me, right? So I can only see the one that is happening today, right? So this is the best thing. This is what I wanted to see. I want to see the orders of the day, and this one is showing it to me. So now my query is done. So I'm done with the tables, I'm done with the queries, and the last thing I have to do is that I need to create forms for adding the information. So not the last thing. So there are forms that I have to create. The easiest and fastest way to create forms is that to click on create, go to form wizard, and now I want to create a form to add the customer's information. So I could add all the information for the customer. This is a customer that is going to take all the information from the customer. I told you before, if you want to you can right click on this, you can go to design view, or you could go to layout view, and then you could move the things around. For example, if the customer's ID is not important to you, you could move it around. So you could just like take this, and I will hold down the control key on my keyboard and take the second one, and I could just bring it down the page, right? So after date of birth, I will have this, because I don't care about customer ID. I don't do it. Like, this is automated number that is generated by the computer or Microsoft Access for me. So this is my first form. As we talked about it before, you could go there, you could add images, browse the images on your computer and add them here if you like it. For the sake of simplicity, I don't want to go into those kind of details. I just want to have the minimum requirements for this project. So the customer's form is created. The orders form, I want to also create the orders form. So I will click on the form wizard, and I will have the orders form. So the order form, again, I will add everything that I want over there to come here. Now I could go and tweak that around. So for example, order ID, maybe again it's not that much important. Items that are ordered, customer who ordered that, all of that information could be added to this section as well. In the last part of the query section design, or the one that is asking us to make, the first one, we just created two different forms here. So the form for customers and orders are ready. So we created this customers and orders form. But I am now talking about the management form, employees and suppliers. So if you're going to update two different tables with one form, they should be in relationship. So you need to find a way that you could connect these two tables together. The easiest way to connect these two tables, let me just close all these extra items. The easiest way to connect the employees and suppliers table is, for example, I will go into employees table, and I would say employees could work with specific suppliers, right? So I will right click here, and from the design view, I would say working with suppliers. So I would say if this person is working with suppliers, yes and no, and then I would say which suppliers. If the answer is yes, then the person would have to select from a list of items. Now, when I go and bring the list of suppliers here to this table, I'm making a connection, or I'm creating a relationship behind the scene between these two tables. Okay, so this is what we want to create a form that can capture information and update two different tables. So from this, I just need to have the company's name. I don't need anything else. Now, I'm going to save my work, close, and now if I go to employee, every single employee is going to have access here to say, okay, if the person is working with suppliers or not, and then they could choose. Now, I just did this because I wanted the relationship. I wanted to, this is the easiest way to create the relationship between these two. Now if I click on the create and click on form design, I click on the form wizard here, I could say I want to, this is what I want to have a relation, I want to have employees and suppliers. So I will choose employees table, everything, suppliers table, everything, and I will get no error when I click on that. If you don't create that relationship, right now you see that we have employees here and then we have suppliers as a subsection over there. And the only reason that you could do this is that there is a relationship between these two. If there was no relationship between the supplier and employee, you were not able to create this form. Okay. So now this form is updating employees and the suppliers at the same time. Now, if you want to make any changes to that form, you know, you want to make it look nicer or whatever reason you want to have for this, this is up to you. You could go and do it later. Okay, so this is the third item that we wanted to create for, you know, create our forms for. And then we will want to create a report for the orders of the day. So we already create, you see, this is orders query. We can easily create a report on that. So I can right click, when I have my orders query clicked, I click on create and I click on report. So when it is selected, and you see orders query is created here, and it is showing me, it's only one page, and it is showing me, you know, all the information here. So every single day all you sell would be shown to you on this page. So this is a report that is going to show you the information for every single day. So I'm going to save that information. Orders query, or I would say orders, I would say daily order report. And I will close this, and I could see that I have all of the needed information. So I have all my tables, I have the queries that I want, and I have the forms and report. Just want to show you that because we created those kind of connections between the tables, if I go to the relationship, I could see that the tables are connected to each other. There is a relationship between all those tables when I created the activity. So there is a relationship happening behind the scene. I didn't create any relationship myself. I didn't connect any tables to each other. But behind the scene, as I was creating all those activities, this happened. So now we have a very beautiful work. Our database is working nicely for this restaurant. We have customers, we could capture their information, employees capture the information, menu, we could always go and update that, orders of the day, promotions, suppliers. This is what we are, we know everything that we gather for our database. And again, we have queries. If you want to celebrate our customers or employees' birthday, this is what we could say. We could use customers query or employees query. I can just give it a better name, for example, customers birthday query or employees birthday query. And this is showing like orders query, so all the orders that belong to all the orders that we have daily are showing there. So maybe it's better also to call it daily orders query. And then we created forms for data entry. So we're adding every information in those forms, and then they will update our tables. And then we have a report that we could use it every single day to check how much, for example, sales you had on that day, or you see what was your daily business like. So I hope you liked it, and I think this is all we need to know for this project. Good luck, and see you next time. Thank you.